Your dog is somewhere right now that you cannot follow. Their body is on the floor, on the sofa, in their bed. But their mind is running. You have watched it happen. The legs moving against nothing. The soft sounds escaping without waking them. The eyes shifting behind closed lids, tracking something only they can see. You have watched all of this and wondered, in the particular way that only dog owners wonder, what is in there? Who is in there? Whether any of it involves you. Science has been working on that question for longer than most people realize, and what it has found is not a comfortable reassurance that dogs simply process the day and reset. What it has found is stranger than that, and more specific, and considerably harder to dismiss. The answer to what your dog dreams about turns out to be inseparable from the answer to a larger question. How much of their waking life do they actually carry with them into sleep? Dogs enter REM sleep, the sleep stage in which vivid dreaming occurs in humans, within approximately 20 minutes of falling asleep. This was established through EEG studies mapping canine brain activity, and the electrical signature of dreaming sleep in dogs is not merely similar to the human pattern. It is, in the relevant respects, the same pattern, the same irregular bursts of neural activity, the same eye movements, the same partial suppression of muscle control that produces the twitching you watch from across the room. That muscle suppression is worth understanding precisely. During REM sleep, the brainstem sends signals that temporarily paralyze the large muscle groups, an evolutionary mechanism that prevents animals from physically acting out their dreams. In dogs, as in humans, this system is not perfectly efficient. The small muscles escape it, the paws move, the lips pull back, the sounds come through. What you are watching when your dog twitches in sleep is the overflow, the dream pressing against the body's attempt to contain it. The question of what fills that dream space was addressed most directly by research out of MIT, where neuroscientist Matthew Wilson and his team studied dream content by implanting electrodes in the hippocampus of rats during maze learning tasks and then monitoring their brain activity during subsequent sleep. The neural firing patterns that appeared during the task reappeared during REM sleep, with a precision that allowed the researchers to identify not just that the rats were dreaming of the maze, but which section of the maze they were running and at what speed. They were replaying specific lived experience, not scrambled impressions, not emotional residue, but structured sequential memory. The sleeping brain was rehearsing the waking world with a fidelity that the researchers themselves described as striking. And because the hippocampal architecture underlying this process is shared across mammals, the implication for dogs was direct and immediate. Your dog's dreaming brain is almost certainly doing the same thing. Subscribe to Barune. We decode these hidden messages every week, so you never miss what your dog is actually telling you. There is a detail in the dream research that most summaries skip past, and it is the detail that changes what the twitching on your floor actually means. Dream frequency and dream duration in dogs are not uniform across the species. They scale, with body size, and with age, in opposite directions. Smaller dogs dream more often. A small breed may cycle through a new dream every 10 minutes during a sleep session. A large breed may take 45 minutes between cycles. But the duration inverts. Large dogs hold their dreams longer, the sequence is running deeper into sleep before releasing. A Great Dane's dream is not interrupted where a Chihuahua's would already have moved on. Whatever your dog is replaying, the size of their body determines how long they stay inside it. Age compounds this further. Puppies dream with an intensity that researchers link to the sheer volume of new information their brains are processing and sorting. Old dogs dream with a frequency that has led some researchers to suggest the aging brain returns more often to stored memory. That older dogs may spend more time in the past than the younger ones do. Your dog's age is not just written in their body, it may be written in the texture of their sleep. But the finding that sits at the center of all of this, the one that the MIT research points toward, and that subsequent studies in canine cognition have continued to support, is not about frequency or duration. It is about content, about who and what fills the dreaming brain of an animal that has organized its entire social world around one relationship above all others. Stanley Coren, a neuropsychologist and behavioral researcher who has written extensively on dog cognition, concluded from the available dream architecture evidence that dogs most likely dream about their owners. not in a loose, impressionistic sense, but in the specific, episodic sense that the MIT research established. Your dog's hippocampus is filing away moments from their day. The moments with the highest emotional charge are the ones most likely to resurface during REM. And for most dogs, the moments of highest emotional charge are the moments that involve you. The greeting when you came home. The walk where something caught both your attentions at once. The moment on the sofa where your dog pressed against your leg and stayed. These are not small moments for your dog. They are moments your dog anticipates, recognizes, and remembers with a clarity that is easy to underestimate. The tone of your voice, the rhythm of your movement, the exact way you enter a room. These details are not background noise. They are part of the memory itself. They are peak experiences, the kind of charged, relational memory that the sleeping brain returns to and rehearses. When your dog's legs move against nothing, there is a real possibility that the nothing they are moving through is a walk they took with you. Which surfaces the question that the science gestures toward but cannot fully enter. If your dog's dreaming brain is selecting for emotional intensity, and if you are the primary source of emotional intensity in your dog's life, then what your dog dreams about is not a random sample of their day. It is a curated return to the experiences that mattered most. And the experiences that matter most are almost always the ones that contain you. Your dog is not dreaming of food, or of squirrels, or of the abstract pleasures of a good run. They may dream of those things, but the research on episodic memory and emotional salience in mammals suggests those are not what the brain prioritizes when it selects what to replay. The brain replays what it is still working to understand, still integrating, still holding. For your dog, that is the texture of life with you. The specific, unrepeatable quality of being in your presence. You have watched your dog sleep and wondered whether any of it involves you. The science does not offer certainty. It rarely does at the edges of consciousness and inner experience. But it offers something more useful than certainty. It offers a mechanism. A way of understanding why the answer is almost certainly yes. Not because dogs are loyal in some general species-wide sense, but because your dog's brain, during sleep, is doing exactly what any brain does with the experiences it values most. It keeps going back. It runs the memory again and again in the dark, while the body lies still and the legs move against nothing, and the sounds come through that you were never meant to hear. Your dog is not just sleeping. They are somewhere specific, and the most likely place they keep returning to, the place the dreaming brain selects above the others, is the place where you are. Not as a vague presence, but as something precise and familiar, a memory the brain returns to because it still matters.